Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a collaboration with Joan of the Joan Project. She's a YouTuber based in South Africa, and we are going to be talking about our experiences in our home country versus countries that we have moved to or we have lived in for a prolonged period of time. I'm from Nigeria, but I moved to Canada 2 years ago. Joan is from Cameroon, but she has lived in South Africa for a couple of years.
Thank you so much, Tosin, for having me on your YouTube channel to collaborate with you on this video. I'm really excited, and I hope that everyone enjoys the video. My name is Joan, and I am a Cameroonian currently based in South Africa, working and studying in South Africa, and I have been here for the past 13 years. But I do travel to my home country, Cameroon, every year, so I post a lot of content about that.
Stick around. I will definitely leave the link to Joan's video in the description box below. Please make sure to check her out. In Nigeria, you probably know Nigeria is hot. I had heard so much about how Canada is cold. Fun fact, during the summer in Canada, it is almost as hot as Nigeria. In fact, there are some days that it is the same degrees or even hotter. It is very interesting that for the first for like 8 or 9 months of the year, it is cold, like freezing cold. Water coming out from your nose, can't live in your room without a heater. And then summer comes and everything switches and everyone is wearing boxers on the streets and all of that because it gets extremely hot.
Well, South Africa has like very European kind of weather, which I know is strange because it's an African country, but you have 4 seasons here. So your winter, your summer, your autumn, and your spring.
So when I came to Toronto, it's just amazing how you can just download an app and an app will tell you that okay, your bus is coming in 5 minutes, and you know that it's time for me to leave my house and go to the bus stop. I mean, on every bus stop they have these masts where they show phone numbers that you can text. If you text to that phone number, it will tell you how many. That one is always accurate. It will tell you how many minutes before the next bus comes. Also, there are train systems, and the train really helps, especially if you don't have a car. We also have the tram. The tram is like a train that works in the middle of the road. They have like the card system, so if you want to take a bus, you have to buy a bus pass or a bus card. We call it Presto.
Honestly, getting around South Africa as a foreign national, I know like it honestly depends on the city that you are staying in, and it also depends on your flexibility in terms of understanding the language, communicating the language, because public transport in South Africa is predominantly by South Africans, and it is predominantly something that you need to be familiar with their language in order for you to really get around. So for me, that has been a little bit challenging because I haven't really adapted or adopted or learned to speak the language. Although I understand it, I can't really speak it fluently. So basically they have like your compis, they call them compis, or they are buses where, you know, when you reach the bus station, because they have different bus stops, and so when you reach the bus stop, you have to wait until that bus is full with customers before the bus driver can then take off. So it's not like where I come from in Cameroon, where you have your yellow taxis, you can literally just break a taxi and it will take you to where you're going. No, in South Africa, that's not how it is. You have a combi, so you have to wait after the bus is full and then you go. And then the bus is not going to drop you, let's say in front of your house. The bus is not going to drop you in a specific location. No, the bus is going to drop you at the next bus stop, or it is going to drop you, let's say, on the next main street in terms of the direction it is going to. So it's the transportation system here in South Africa, like if you don't know your way around after being dropped at a bus stop, then it's going to be really difficult. So for me personally, I have not adapted or adjusted to this, because coming from Cameroon, where you can literally be dropped off where you are going to South Africa, where after they drop me off at the bus stop, I'm still going to have to find my way anyway. To me, it was just like an inconvenience, so I prefer using the Ubers. So in South Africa, you do have Ubers, Taxifys, and other privately owned taxi companies where you can actually, you know, book in and get dropped exactly where you are going. But of course, they are more expensive, but it's a sacrifice that I personally am willing to make. Something peculiar about the cars in South Africa, I guess that's something cool to share, is that their steering wheel and their own driving occurs on the right side of the car. Whereas I think in America and other countries, like it rather happens on the left side of the car. So in South Africa, you drive with the steering wheel on the, whoa, you see that? On the right hand side, but then the road in itself is like you will be turning into the left. I don't know if I'm making sense, but yeah, basically it's just reversed with how it is in America.
The fusion of different cultures. So you have Japanese, Chinese, Indian. There are different cultures in Toronto, for example. So there's different foods that you can choose from. See, food is the number one thing that I miss about Nigeria. I'm not even going to lie. Food is the number one thing. You know, in Nigeria, you can just come out of your house on a Saturday morning and see akara and just buy akara, 15 naira akara and a cup, and you are good to go. See fried yam, see fried plantain, see fried dundu, all of that. Only issue is shit's expensive, huh?
In South Africa, I must say it is diverse in terms of the cultural influences, or let's say the different racial groups that exist, because you have your African people, and within your African people you have the Zulus, the Xhosas, and the Beles, all the different tribes that you have in South Africa. And then you also have the Indians who have their Indian dishes. You also have the Afrikaans that have their own Afrikaans dishes. So all these different cultures and race groups, like, they influence the diverse foods that we have in South Africa. I would say that, you know, there is more variety of food choices in Cameroon, where I come from, and I think most West African countries in comparison to South Africa. So in South Africa, your main staples are rice, pasta, potatoes, and maize meal. They call it maize meal here, which is basically your powdered maize flour. Yes, so those are the main staples. And bread, yeah, bread is also a staple here in South Africa, or let's say flour. That's like, those are not even really the staples in most West African countries, because we have more could I say traditional dishes, or more dishes that showcase a wider variety. So let's say, for example, in West African countries you have cassava. So from cassava you can make gari, you can make cassava flour, you can make bobolo, which is something we eat in Cameroon, you can make water fufu, which is something else we eat in Cameroon. And we actually discussed this with Tosin in another collaboration that we did on my channel, so you can go and check that out. But you can have more variety of food actually in West Africa in comparison to South Africa, I would have to say, from my experience. Whenever I come back here, sometimes I feel so confused, like, I'm not going to be eating rice, pasta, bread, potato. No, there's no plantain in South Africa, so no dodo, which honestly, it pains my chest. There's no yams in South Africa, like your Calabar yam, or in Cameroon we have a yellow yam as well. That is not in South Africa, fam. So you're just gonna have to be eating potatoes. What they do have variety here in South Africa is fruits. Like, they have so many fruits, like stuff that I have not even seen in my life. They have a wide variety of fruits in South Africa, which we definitely don't have in West Africa, because in South Africa here, the climate allows them to grow both European and African kind of fruits. So, I mean, they flourish here and gives more variety. South African people are different. Okay, let me not get myself into trouble. But yeah, so huge disclaimer, first of all, everything I'm sharing, you know, surrounding my experience in South Africa is just based on personal experience, personal opinion. It is not fact, so don't take my word as fact. It is rather just my personal experience as a young lady who has stayed in South Africa for a long time. So the people in South Africa, honestly, it differs from person to person, it differs from region to region. You would find that people who stay in Cape Town, South Africans in Cape Town, may be more hospitable because they are used to having a lot of foreigners come there, a lot of tourists come to Cape Town. So it is part of their lifestyle to just be hospitable because their city is a touristic city, you know, Cape Town. Johannesburg as well. In Johannesburg, you have a large large influx of foreign nationals. So it is like a well-gelled pot, if I can put it that way, where you have people from all over the world that are in Johannesburg for business, for all different sorts of things. So in Johannesburg, people tend to be more receptive of foreigners, if I can put it that way, or hospitable, because they are used to seeing them on a day-to-day basis. But again, even within Johannesburg, it depends on the specific community in Johannesburg, because there are some parts that, you know, might not be as hospitable. There's just sometimes a perception that the moment you are not originally from here, you are perhaps coming in to compete in one way or the other, or just that kind of a perception that you are not truly a part of. You're not truly a part of. So there are some communities in South Africa where honestly I have met the best group of people, so friendly, so welcoming, like honestly, just the most hospitable people. And then there are other parts of South Africa or other experiences I've had where honestly it's like I just wanted to pack my bags and go home the next day. The way people treat you because you can't speak their language, the way they treat you because you're not from their country, the way they treat you, you know, just because of the way you speak. Like, okay, the way I'm talking right now, they're like, oh, why are you talking that way? You want to show that, you know, you not like from you traveled out or whatever, which is not even the case. So that's what I'm saying. I can't say they are the whole of South Africa is hospitable because I'll be lying, and I also cannot say that some of the South Africans have not been hospitable towards me.
If you've ever heard that Canadians are nice people, it's true. Canadians are extremely nice to a fault that it is scary. There was one thing that happened when I just got to Canada and it warmed my heart. Like, I entered into a bus, and from the moment I entered to the moment that I came down from that bus, the bus driver greeted every single person that was coming in, and he said a heartwarming goodbye to everybody that came off the bus, that alighted from the bus. Like, someone just presses the bell to drop at the bus stop, and as the person is about to go down, he's like, have a nice weekend. And I'm like, every single person, Nigeria. The driver is stressed. In Nigeria, the driver is stressed. Don't even stress him to tell him goodbye. He can even insult you. Because any paraga, his eyes, he can't even see you. He is stressed out. If you stress him too much, it will curse your mother out. So that was amazing. I felt it was really nice. It was really cool. There was this time I was coming back from the convenience store, from like the grocery store, and I had so much bags on me. The grocery store is like 5 minutes away from my house. If you watch some of my grocery vlogs, you probably have seen that. I'll link it up. And I had so many bags. And then this Canadian guy just stopped by, and he wound down his glass driving, and he was like, hey, do you need help? In my mind, I know that I need help, but the Nigerian in me could not say yes, because he was like, oh, happy now, drop you home. I was like, drop home, okay. The Nigerian in me will not do that, because you don't know who is who. Pay over 500 naira. Pay over for real, should go. Maybe they want to use you to do ritual. I know it's probably not possible in Canada, but maybe they want to kidnap you. We get Amber Alerts about kidnap. If I enter and they kidnap Baker, I kept saying no, and he kept pestering for like 3 minutes. When he saw that I wasn't budging, he drove off. And they are really nice. They say hi, they say hello, they help you without even asking for anything in return. If you need help, you can just ask, they will help you, and they will go about their way.
Making friends in South Africa. Shout out to all my friends from South Africa that might be watching this part. Hello, hi, Sandy Bonani. Making friends in South Africa actually changed over the years in my life. In high school, which is when I just came to South Africa, was really, really difficult because I came from Cameroon, where, you know, it is literally Africans in Cameroon. And in South Africa, in South African high school where I went, we had Africans, we had blacks, we had Indians, we had colors. And within high school, there were cliques depending on race. So there was always the white kids who sit together, the black kids who sit together, the Indians, the colors. And I coming in, not being exposed to these racial differences, I found myself in this place where I was confused. Like one break time, I will sit with the white kids. The next break time, I will sit with the black kids. But then the black kids would always speak in Zulu, so I never understood them, and I could never connect and build friendship in that way. So I ended up actually becoming friends with your coloreds in high school, which coloreds, by the way, in South Africa, they are called coloreds. In some other people watching this, when I say colored, it might sound perhaps as though it is negative, but your coloreds are basically, let's say, your mixed race group. But yeah, in South Africa, that's how they are called, and it's what they accept being called, if I can put it that way. So that's your mixed race groups. So they were much more friendly and much more receptive, and that's where I found myself. But as I went into university, I again could not really connect with South African nationals as such, because there was just a barrier. I don't know what it is, and it wasn't so much from my side because I'm an open person, but it was almost like I was too different to be a part of. And I don't know why, there was that perception that I was too different to be a part of because I'm not like they are. But I'm a very friendly and open person, and I do have some South African friends. I have to highlight that, but it has just not been very easy. I don't know if other foreigners in South Africa have experienced the same, but that's just my personal story.
To be honest, I can't really speak much about making friends because I'm not the type to make friends easily. I smile, I laugh a lot, but I don't make friends that easily. Like, we can meet today and we gel and we laugh. But in my mind, I've not considered you my friend, and I may not even ask for your name. I'm that crazy. No, what twisted. I will not even ask you for your name. I will never ask you for details about you. We had a good conversation and that's it. Let's keep it moving. So I'm not really the type to make friends that easily, and I have heard from many other people too that it's not so easy making friends in Canada. So I guess my case might be extreme, but it just goes to tell you that it's actually quite similar to a lot of people. It's not really, even people that are extremely loud, extremely extroverted, they still find it a bit hard or easy to make friends.
Getting an apartment seriously has to be my best part about staying in South Africa, because there is such a variety. I mean, this country is beautiful. Like, South Africa is a beautiful country. The architecture here is on point. The houses are beautiful. So, like, I have enjoyed the process of moving around South Africa and exploring my independence in that way. So I've probably moved maybe like 6 times within the past 3-4 years, and it has been great because I always find the exact deal that I'm looking for. So if you're wanting to have shared accommodation, you can. If you're wanting to have a single apartment like I do, you can. If you're wanting to rent a property within a complex, you can, or a standalone house, you can. There's so much variety to choose from, and then the rent also depends on the location that you see. I think what also makes it easy is that they have a lot of websites in South Africa to look for accommodation. So let's say if you are in Canada, you want to come to South Africa, literally if you go on what we call Gumtree, or if you go on OLX, or if you go on Property 24, you can even go on Airbnb. Like, there's so many platforms where you can literally sit in your house and find accommodation from, like, you can sit in another country and find accommodation in South Africa. And then also in South Africa, you pay your rent per month. I found out that in Nigeria, you pay your rent for the whole year, and I was like, hey, God, you want to finish people? No, in South Africa, you pay your rent per month.
The thing where your eye go see my sister, my brother. See, getting an apartment in Canada deserves its own video. In fact, I'm going to make another video talking about it. But housing, accommodation in Canada, you will swear to, like, you are a new immigrant and they're asking you to bring your social insurance number, that they're asking you about your credit score, they're asking you about some things that you have never heard in your life.
dating in South Africa. Well, this is awkward. I haven't dated any South African for my entire 13 years of being in South Africa. So it is a question that's a little bit difficult to answer. If it is the will of God for your life, my dear sister, my dear brother, go right ahead. As for me, well, yeah, we'll be patient and wait for God to come through, because He will indeed.
I can't speak much about dating in Canada because I did not come here to look for husband, so I am not searching, and I have never searched. I don't know about the dating apps. I just use my ear to hear Bumble. I use my ear to hear, what's the name of that popular one? I've forgotten the name, but there are so many dating apps. So I don't know much about dating. I hardly even go outside. I know they see my for road, those kind of things. But according to my friends that, I've been here, a lot of them complain that it's not easy dating. They tell me that the dating scene in Canada, Toronto especially, is a jungle. According to what I hear, it's either the men, the good men are taken, or the ones that are around are players, or they are not ready for marriage. There's always one thing or the other. But my sister is a stronghold. Tell yourself, in this Canada, me, I will see my own husband if you are searching. If you are searching. I've told some people, why don't you date someone from like maybe your home country and then have them move? You guys decide, have them move over, and they're scared that maybe you are dating the person and the person is just dating you because of papers. That one too. So if you want to date in Toronto, I'll say check out dating apps. I'll say church. Church is another good place because you find like-minded, like they're in my church there. In fact, the church is Nigerian. I mentioned earlier, I have not dated in Canada, so I can't really say much about the dating scene, but just come with a positive mind if you plan to move. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a collaboration with Joan of the Joan Project.
I hope that you guys learned a little bit from my experience, and I also am happy that Tosin shared her own experience as well, because we can both learn from each other. I want to say I'll see you guys in my next video, as if this is my channel. Lol. Bye guys.
Let me know how is dating scene wherever you live in Nigeria, in Canada. What are the differences between where you currently live and places you have lived before? Even if it's the same Nigeria, if you've ever moved from like Lagos to Abuja, what's the differences in both cities? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm really happy to be back filming. I was away from YouTube for a while. Thank you so much for sticking by. Thank you for subscribing, for liking, for sharing, and all of that. By the time this video goes up, I should have announced that I'm having a YouTube beginners class coming soon. So if you've always wanted to start YouTube but you're scared, you don't know where to start, you don't know how to do thumbnails, all of that, maybe you don't have a quick registration link in the description box, so make sure to check it out. I'll be teaching all I know about YouTube, starting out, growing, and all of that. Thank you so much again for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.